Hi everyone, I'm Kat and welcome to my channel, Naturally Beautiful Girl. So today I'm going to be doing a review of the new Clove and Hallow concealers. And I have the shade 01. This is the lightest shade that they have. They do have 14 shades ranging from this shade to much deeper shades. I think considering that Clove and Hallow is a newer brand, that it is really great that they have come out with 14 shades of the concealer, and I believe there are also 14 shades of the powder foundation as well. I'm going to start off by showing you a demo of me using the concealer so that you can see how it applies and how I use it. I've noticed in the demo that the concealer is a smidge dark for me. I wish that it was a little bit lighter. I will go ahead and swatch it here on my hand so you can see. It definitely has a very pink undertone to it. I can make it work under my eyes, but I can't actually use it to conceal any acne spots. It is too pink, and when I try and conceal an acne spot, which is normally kind of reddish, and I put a concealer that does have a pinker tone to it on that acne spot, it just doesn't work. It is the wrong shade. Although shades like this that are a little bit pinker, I find do work well under my eyes. So I do like this for an under eye concealer. I really like the packaging of it. It does have this really sleek, nice packaging, and as you saw in the demo, it does have a doe foot applicator. The only thing is that it does get a little bit dirty. Just some of the product gets stuck kind of, here I'll show you. It gets kind of gloopy around the top of the packaging, just from how liquidy the concealer is, and then when you close it, it can kind of squeeze out the side, which is definitely not the best. I would prefer if it didn't do that. The concealer that I had loved in conventional beauty before I switched to green eco beauty was the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer. It kind of came in a packaging that looked similar to this with a doe foot applicator, so I was hoping that this could kind of be a replacement for it. The first thing I will say though is that this does not provide as much coverage as that concealer. I mean, it does provide an adequate amount of coverage. As you can see, it does cover my dark circles, but I actually would have liked something with a little bit more coverage under my eyes. That's just my personal preference, but it does do its job pretty well. The one thing that is really nice about it is it does dry down. As you noticed in the demo, I did set it with the Teri Miyahira Prep and Set powder. And normally I set all my under eye concealers by baking with the RMS Unpowder, which is kind of my holy grail setting powder. It is what I find really helps to lock anything in on my face. I have tried baking with the RMS Unpowder with this concealer, and what I find is that it actually dries on my under eyes too much, which is saying a lot because I have really oily skin and my under eyes do get oily throughout the day. However, when I did try and bake with the RMS Unpowder, because this is a concealer that does dry down, it just got way too dry and it actually felt really dry under my eyes. So I do not recommend baking with this concealer. I don't think you need to. In fact, I don't even need to set it with the RMS Unpowder. I can use something like the Teri Miyahira Prep and Set, which normally would not be enough to set my usual concealers into place, such as like the RMS Uncover Up or the Hint Beauty Duet Concealer. I have not found that something like the Teri Miyahira Prep and Set is enough to set those concealers down, but it definitely is enough to set this concealer down. So I did try one day to wear this concealer without setting it with any powder, but the issue I ran into was as the concealer was drying down, it was creasing, so I couldn't get it to dry down without creasing. And I didn't want it to dry down and get stuck with creases in it, because then I would have been left with those creases all throughout the day. So if you have less creasy under eyes or can manage to just like stay still long enough for this concealer to dry down, you might be able to get away with it without setting it. However, for me, that just didn't work. I did go ahead and have to set the concealer with a powder. That way it would dry and not crease. Can you wear this concealer without setting it? Maybe, but I couldn't. Out of all the concealers I've used in Green and Eco Beauty, I would say this one dries down the most and is the least prone to creasing. So if you are struggling with creasing and your concealer not drying down, this one definitely does. And I think one of the reasons it does is it does contain some dimethicone, but dimethicone is actually, I believe it's either the last or second to last ingredient on the list. So there's not a lot of dimethicone in here, but I think it's just enough to really get it to dry down and stay in place. This product does contain coconut alkanes and coconut oil, but I've not had any issues using it under my eyes. I haven't had any breakouts under my eyes, so I don't really think it's an issue. And also the RMS Uncover Up also does contain coconut oil, and I can use that under my eyes without any issues there either. Overall, I really do like this concealer. I think it is a really great concealer, especially in Green and Eco Beauty, to get a concealer that can dry down. And the price of $18 is not that bad for a concealer. I think it's kind of middle of the road for concealer prices. I think most of them are kind of in the range from $15 to $25, which, you know, this is falling in that range. The only thing I wish is that this shade 01 was actually lighter and a little bit less pink, because it is just really, really pink. And I do have pink undertones in my skin, but I am not that pink undertoned. I was happy with my other concealers before I found this, but I do find myself reaching for this concealer when I know that I am going to have a particularly long day, because I know that it is going to stay in place and not crease on me. Once I set it, it is good to go. So if you are really struggling with your concealers creasing, or you just have really long days where you need your makeup to just hold up for a long time, I think this could be a really great concealer. Let me know what you think. If you think from the demo and from my review, if it's something you're interested in trying out, or if it's something that you're going to pass on, definitely let me know down in the comment section down below. You guys have been leaving a lot of comments in my videos, and I'm really, really excited about it. I love reading your comments and responding. It really truly does make my day, so keep leaving the comments. I've gotten quite a few new subscribers lately, so if you are new to this channel, welcome as well. I'm trying to reach 500 subscribers. I feel like it's going to be a really exciting goal for me to reach 500 subscribers. When I started my channel, I thought it would be really awesome if anybody watched my videos, let alone anyone subscribed. And now that I'm, you know, hit over the 400 mark and I'm moving towards 500, I'm super excited. So if I hit 500 subscribers, there's two things that I think are going to happen. One of the things I've been thinking about doing is doing a Q&A once I hit 500. You guys can ask me questions and I will answer them. And also the other kind of personal exciting thing, well, also it affects you as well. I have been wanting for the longest time to get new knobs for the dresser behind me. This is a dresser that my husband actually found on Craigslist, and it's a really nice dresser. It's one of those like really great Craigslist finds. It's solid wood, which it's actually really hard to find good high quality furniture nowadays. But I don't like the knobs on it. I've really been wanting to switch them out. I think it'll kind of spruce it up. I would like to refinish the entire dresser at some point, but that is on a future to-do list. But I think the knobs would be a good start, and my husband and I were talking, and I told him once I hit 500 subscribers, I will get new knobs for this. So you guys have to help me hit 500 as well so I can get my new knobs. And you guys can look at new knobs on here as well. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also, be sure to check out my Instagram. I'll have my handle down below. I'm at naturallybeautifulgirl. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!